This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on lrodvinetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on lrodvinetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to lrodvinetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. Hey, Meryl.
Hey, I'm not thirsty. I have water and iced coffee.
There you go.
Our topics are thirsty, but we're not.
How are you doing today?
I'm so good. I'm really good. Well, I'm actually good, and I wanted you to know if I start us off today, it was a story that made me cry in a good way.
Okay, that sounds actually pretty good. So let's go ahead and have you start off then.
Okay, good. Wait, first, how are you?
I am doing fantastic.
Okay, good. Well, you're going to be doing even better after you hear this one. I think everyone will. I thought this was so sweet. So basically, there was recently a viral moment where an elderly DoorDash driver can now retire after a fundraiser took off. In Tennessee, a 78-year-old DoorDash driver named Richard Pulley went viral after a customer saw him struggling to deliver her order and shared the Ring camera footage online. The customer, Brittany Smith, then launched a GoFundMe, and within days, the fundraiser brought in more than $500,000, with reports putting it around over $500,000. The money is meant to help Pulley and his wife step away. He returned to work because of financial pressure, and I think she lost her job, or she lost her hours or whatever, and they needed money to meet her medication costs. So this little 77-year-old man went as a DoorDash driver, and I don't know what it is, but I just cannot watch older people try hard at their jobs. It makes me bawl my eyes out. I saw a video the other day of a man that's in his 70s, and I think he was interviewing for a job at Chipotle or something, and someone put it on video, and people were freaking out. And in a good way, I don't mind when this kind of stuff gets posted, because I think someone from the corporate office saw that one, and they were going to make sure he got a job. And in this case, videotape him all we want, because now this person has $500,000, and I just think stuff like this gets to me and is so sweet, I think.
Yes, definitely. And I think it highlights something that we rarely talk about. And, growing up, and I'm probably dating myself a little bit, you can work a regular blue collar type job, a maintenance worker, factory worker, and live a good life. You have a car, you be able to buy a house, take your occasional trips with your family. In other words, you had a good life, nothing extravagant, but you had a really good life. And, those days are gone now. And,
I know.
We talk about how more and more young people are shying away from buying new homes just because they just can't afford it. And you have a lot of people that are being priced out of their homes now, that can't afford rising prices and insurance and taxes and stuff. So it is great to hear about this story, and I applaud the people that gave to help this couple out. But I think something on a much more greater platform, even on the political platform, needs to happen to address this, because it's getting pretty bad out there, worse and worse. With the obvious war and everything going on, gas prices creeping up to around $5 a gallon. At some point, something has to give,
I know, and I also think too, like back in the day, if you were in your 70s and you did like need a job, like a little cute mom and pop store, or you could go
Hmm.
work at like a sweet little bagel shop or like a candy store and stuff. And now I just feel like people have to resort to DoorDash. Not that that's a bad thing if people want to do it, but it's like because now there's just like corporate CVS's, and unfortunately, people tend to not really hire people in their 70s anymore. And it's
Yeah,
just, like my grandma worked at a department, a clothes department when she was in her 70s. And like, that was just kind of what grandmas do. Like they, if they want to, they get a job at Macy's or whatever. And now I don't think Macy's is hiring a ton of women in their 80s or whatever. So I think it's harder too, because we don't have as many like wholesome type of jobs available anymore. It's all like weird corporate things.
yeah, and the other thing too is just because a person is older and they have a lot of experience doesn't mean that they really don't want and or need that job.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
because I remember the big thing, and I don't know if it still goes on now, where people don't get hired because they're quote unquote overqualified.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I've had
I
that
hate
happen.
that
Yeah.
term. It's like,
Me too.
okay,
Yeah.
they need to work. You need to hire someone. Wouldn't you want someone that could come in and jump right into your position? Just saying.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. I really do think there should be more of a like a not a demand or an urgency, but we should make more of an emphasis on hiring people that are like applying for jobs that are 55 and over of retirement age. I think that they should get like special treatment just as much as someone right out of college should.
It's true. That is definitely true. Well, talk about treatment. Now, everyone knows about the popularity of these new um, GLP drugs that's out there right now. They fly under different names, Ozempic, Wegovy, and there's several others. Well, a warning from the FDA to Novo Nordisk claiming that they failed to report serious side effects associated with its GLP-1 weight loss drugs.
Whoa.
So, uh, in a warning letter dated March 5th, 2026, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, also known as FDA, accused Novo Nordisk of failing to properly report serious side effects and adverse events associated with its popular GLP-1 weight loss and diabetes medications, commonly known under Wegovy and Ozempic. So, some of the things that they're highlighting, one being unreported deaths. The FDA alleged that Novo Nordisk failed to report 3 patient deaths, including a suicide case involving a patient taking semaglutide within the required time frame. Systematic reporting failures. Inspectors found that the company improperly invalidated some safety complaints and failed to investigate others, suggesting systematic failures in their reporting systems. Another one would be failed follow-ups. The FDA noted that the company often closed cases without conducting required follow-up investigations, particularly when reports came from non-healthcare professionals. Wow,
That
that's a
is crazy.
unpack there.
Yeah. I was reading it here too, and basically they're saying the silent part out loud, which is just a lot of people are taking these things now, and we're kind of seeing a rush of all of it. And I feel like in the next couple of years, hopefully not, but we're seeing some side effects already start to happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, on the positive end, there's a lot of great that does with this because it's helping people lose the weight that they've been fighting to get off for such a long time. It's helping people get off medications. So there's a lot of positives to it. But you have to show the whole story too.
Yeah,
Um, because these are still relatively new drugs, we don't know what, if any, long-term effects are going to be with these drugs.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are on it that they don't have diabetes, they don't have,
Mhm.
whatever they have. And so they're just kind of on it as like a vanity project. And I think hopefully not. Hopefully people won't get bad side effects, but it is still freaky deaky. And I've heard there are ones, I know you named the semi-glutide ones. Like I've heard the small dosages of trizepatide are okay. Like, I say okay with finger quotes, but like they seem to be working out the problems that some of the earlier ones have had. And I don't know, to me, it's like one of those things that I think people are getting prescribed now via kind of clinics. And I'm like, I feel like you need an actual real doctor and someone that knows what they're talking about to diagnose you and treat you with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there are some people out there that truly do try to lose weight and they can't do what they do. So this is a great option for them to consider.
Totally.
But I think the other thing too is, you have to give everyone the full story of what they're facing, even if it's a minute chance, because every medication out there, including over-the-counter drugs, have some type of side effects to it. Most of the side effects are like so little that it's nil, but you still need to disclose that.
Exactly.
And I think that I applaud the FDA for at least, kind of waving the flag and kind of letting us know, hey, just pay attention to these things. Now, is it going to stop people from using these drugs? No. But I think it's best if a person knows what they're going into instead of being surprised too.
Yeah, I agree. And as someone definitely like, I probably would benefit from being on one of these things because it's like the food noise aspect. I think even just the physical part is one thing, but the mental chatter of food and just kind of having to struggle with like thoughts about food and going back and forth and all this kind of stuff, I feel like gives people a lot of relief. So I like definitely think that it can be really, really helpful and very like full of relief for some people.
Oh, absolutely. And there are some people out there that stress eat. In other words, they eat when they're stressed. That's a real thing. So,
my empty bags of potato chips are agreeing. I really struggle a lot with like nighttime eating and just, like for sure that is a big struggle of mine in life. And it always has been ever since like college and stuff, just wanting to eat like ramen at night and carbs at night, and, like having that kind of stuff. But we all have our things. Like, I don't know one person that has like a completely 100% healthy relationship with food, like all of the time,
That is so true.
Yep. Okay, well, I love this story. We just talked about employment, and now we're going to talk about unemployment, where an Orange County woman just went viral for unemployment activities like churning butter on a run. So, Orange County runner Irene Choi posted a TikTok showing herself carrying heavy cream in a bag inside her running vest during a 6-mile run to see whether the motion would turn it into butter, as inspired by creator Libby Claire. The video took off, drawing more than 2.4 million views, and Choi described it as part of a playful unemployment activity series. Now, I think this is so cute. I just love hearing about what people do during their unemployment. Like, I've been there before, but any of the times I've been unemployed, I haven't had the privilege of like having a long time without money. Like, there's been like a few days and I'm like, oh shit, I need to make money again. Like I wish I had like 3 months where I knew I didn't have to work. But the times that I like didn't have a lot going on, I went to the movies a lot, probably too much. Like I would go to AMC theaters and then I would go to the museums a lot, and it's fun, but it does get a little like weird when you just feel like you're in retirement. So I didn't know, did you have any unemployment activities ever?
Let's see. Other than stressing out,
I just get very lazy. Yeah, stressing out, but I get lazy and I get a little bit like indulgent.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on LRAWTVNetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on lrodthnetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to lrodthnetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, I've been thankful that it's been rare to be unemployed. But when you deal with that, I tend to kind of lean towards, stuff that makes me happy. Like
That's good.
production makes me happy, puts a smile on my
Yeah.
face. I'm simple
So
as
you're
far as,
productive.
I even watch some comedy on TV, because that puts a smile on my face. When you're serious all day, I love to be able to just laugh. I think laughter is medicine for everyone. So I just think that if you're unemployed, do something that you love doing. I'm not saying, just give up and anything, but, do something that puts a smile on your face, because it is going to tear you down and it is going to wear at you if you don't have something else to bounce off of.
Definitely. And I know we always say, I'm always like, oh, if I had more time, I'd write this book. If I had more time, I don't find that works for me. I actually, like, if I have so much time, I kind of get nothing done, or I don't get anything. Like, the times that I'm the most productive in my life are times that I already have like a job or structure. So I think it's a misnomer that people are like, if only I had all the time in the world, I could get this and this and this done. Maybe for some things that's true, but for me, like, I need to already kind of be in motion, and then other things happen. I feel like I implode on myself when, like, I don't have anything or any meetings or any outside things.
I hear you. I hear you. You definitely got to keep your mind and your body moving while you're trying to get through that time. So I definitely
Totally.
mention that. Well, my next topic is actually a hot button here. So the federal rule adds pressure to struggling trucking industry. So, to be very specific, a new federal rule taking effect in March 2026, which is this month, restricts or revokes commercial driver's license CDLs for an estimated 200,000 non-citizen immigrant drivers, threatening to worsen driver shortages and disrupt the supply chain. The rule targets holders of non-domiciled licenses, including DACA recipients and asylum seekers, increasing pressure on the industry that is already battling high operation costs. So the basic impact, just highlighting a few things, is the policy expected to remove thousands of experienced drivers from the road, just as the industry struggles to fill roles. Tighter regulations include increased scrutiny on non-domiciled CDL holders, reducing overall freight capacity. Experts warn of a potential delays and increased freight costs, which may raise consumer prices, in addition to the already prices of fuel.
Yeah.
So increased enforcement of English proficiency standards has already led to thousands of drivers being placed out of service. So these changes designed to tighten security and safety are viewed by some operators as a significant hurdle in an already tough operating environment. So the interesting thing about this story, Mel, is that, a lot of people, when they hear about the trucking industry and stuff like this, understand that everything moves on a truck at one point or another. It's furniture, it's food, literally everything at one point moves on a truck. So when the prices go up for fuel, guess what? Prices go up to ship that. When they have a driver shortage, that means that drivers, they're going to demand more money because it's based on demand, supply and demand. So when you have a lot less drivers, those drivers become very premium at that time, especially in an area where you already have a situation where you don't have enough drivers to begin with before all this happened. So
Yeah.
that was a mouthful.
No, I agree with you. It's like what we don't need now is like a trucking crisis in the middle of everything with like diesel being high and like the DACA people. I'm like, that is like the wrong direction. I love the idea of people being able to come here and like fulfill their dreams and build a better life. And it's just like, what are we if we're not letting people like appropriately apply and then be able to get in? And we don't have to go into the long list of people that are very important in our culture today who are like DACA recipients and everything, very people that we know and love. But yeah, I think the truckers have already had it so hard in the past couple of years and just with COVID and beyond that we don't need to make this area. And also, I feel like the trucking industry normally is like, you don't want to have them angry voters, because you want to have truckers on your side pretty much especially if you're going to be thinking about an election in a few years. So they're an important group of people and families that you don't want to mess around with.
That's true. And I'm just really surprised that as a whole, the industry let it get this bad. And the reason why I say that is, there have been a shortage of truck drivers for years prior to all this
Yeah.
happening. So this only just makes it, to me, 10 times worse. And now we're at a point where you're in crisis mode. So there could have been stuff that could have been, been done. Maybe do a better job of attracting people to becoming a truck driver, because
Yeah.
the idea of driving a truck isn't what people think it is. For one, most of your trucks on the road now are automatics. They're not they're not manual trucks anymore, so it's a lot easier to drive.
Yeah.
The truck does a lot of the work for you. The other thing too is that even the way that they run logistics now, how complicated it is as far as streamlining stuff, it's a lot more easier. I shouldn't say easier. It's a lot less complicated to operate in those logistical systems. So there's a lot of positives to it. It is a rough industry. The other thing too is, they've also kind of trimmed down the hours that you drive a day to make it a little bit more realistic. So
Yeah.
you cannot legally drive 24 hours in a truck. Hence, I said the word legally, because unfortunately some
Yeah.
people do that. But, it's not a bad field. It really isn't a bad field if you love driving and you want to make a good living. So I just think that it's one of those things that should be highlighted more.
Yeah, especially if you kind of have that spirit where you don't want to be going into the same office, and it's kind of like a cowboy type of career where it's like you're on the open road and you're in different places and it's isolating, but it's probably also really freeing and you get to see a lot of different beautiful parts of the country, I imagine, depending on where you go. But it's kind of like a rock star type profession, I think. And so it'd be hard for me to think of it and like have a family and just kind of like do anything where you're just kind of gone so much and in different places. But I can totally see why someone would want to, especially if you're like a single person and you kind of don't have a lot of ties. Like, why not?
Yeah. I mean, if you're young and single, and let's say maybe you don't have any other skills that you can make money off of, this may not be a bad option for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You just listen to podcasts all day and drive around. I think it's cool. It's like a cool profession. I could barely, when I had a Nissan Versa, I could barely drive that. So I'm not allowed to drive anything larger than a Bronco. But well, my last one for today is, I thought this was so hilarious. One man accidentally gained access to thousands of robot vacuums. A software engineer, Sammy Asdufel, was trying to connect his Romo robot vacuum to a PlayStation controller when he discovered a major security flaw. Reports say that flaw gave him access to thousands of other vacuums, including live camera feeds, microphones, and the floor plan data from users' homes, which he then reported rather than exploited. So this actually got into the hands of someone good. I could just imagine how this would go if it got into the wrong hands. The story became a larger warning about privacy risks in smart home devices, and DJI later said it fixed the issues and additional security updates.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know. So remember, like, I know for a while people can tap in sometimes to like game or remote controllers, or there's different ways, like Alexa and Siri, and people were gaining control of those things and like saying things to people, and like hackers and software engineers are able to, I think, orchestrate these kind of things. But I just think that's so funny, being in charge of like 1,000 vacuums and just being able to like turn it on everywhere.
Yeah, the scary part is this person accessed it by accident, which means that someone sophisticated that wants to do some nefarious things can really do some damage with that. And it's, it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, I've never had one of the vacuums because I think it's a novelty thing. I don't think
Yeah, me too.
and I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong because I know people are gonna be like, "I love my Roomba. I love my, whatever." That's fine,
Yeah,
but and hearing about this don't make it any better.
exactly. I don't need a robot vac. It seems like when they get caught and like stuck in a wall, that seems more annoying than just running a vacuum.
Oh yeah. So I have to admit, I did want to get one just to put at the top of the stairs. Okay, let's see how smart you really are.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Let's see if it stops at the edge of the stairs or just tumbles all the way down. Yeah, I probably have too much time on my hands. I'm sorry.
Same, exactly.
Well, my last topic of the day, and this is actually a surprising one for me, but vinyl record sales have surpassed $1 billion last year. 1 billion with a B.
Wow.
I personally did not think that many people were buying these records. I was totally surprised.
Yeah.
But that literally price tag reflects the vinyl boom's evolution as sales surpassed $1 billion for the first time in decades, according to the Record Industry Association of America's 2025 year-end report, marking 19 consecutive years of growth. What do you think, Meryl? Are you surprised about this?
Yes, but I want them to bring back the tape cassette. I want to be
Really?
back in the days where we're like where our pen is stuck in the tape thing and everything is going. Like, I love this. I think vinyls are beautiful, and I'm happy that people are listening to music or whatever they're listening to in like the old way. And I think vinyl's great and beautiful and much better than listening like off of our phone. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with this. I love music and I love consuming it in different ways. And I think there's probably nothing like putting on a pair of headphones and listening to a vinyl record. That's just like one of the best things in the whole wide world.
Yes.
I don't do
Now,
it enough.
I did know that people do buy vinyl records. I thought it was more a nostalgic type situation, or maybe for um, big time artists that want to do something special for their listeners. But
Yeah,
I was really surprised to see that number, and it's amazing how things that go out of style at some point come back.
I know. Yeah, because I'm still like I was never really a vinyl person. I think it's so cool. I just don't really do it. But I was definitely a big like CD player, and when like the actual CD disc man, and I love CDs. I feel like that was my era, and I always loved having like the big book of CDs and everything.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
surprised
love
that the CDs died though.
I know. I want to bring back CDs, but I think like vinyl album covers are so beautiful, and I think like even the newer artists like a Sabrina Carpenter or people, they put thought into what like their vinyl is going to look like. So I think some of that part of this is in thanks to like the younger people who are making vinyl important and like part of the kind of what people purchase.
That's true. That's true. What song would you like to hear on vinyl?
Oh my God. Well, my favorite, I loved like all disco music on vinyl. So I was just going to say maybe like anything Donna Summer or Gloria Gaynor, because I feel like that's the kind of stuff that my parents raised me on. Disco, Peaches and Herb.
Nice. I think for me, I would love to have a stepper song on there. Um, like Haunted House. Another good one would be Step in the Name of Love. There's a bunch of different songs that I like to dance off of. And for some people that are listening, know when I say steppers, this isn't what they do in the colleges. It's actually a dance form.
Yeah, yeah. And like producers make so much they intentionally make it so that if you are listening to a vinyl and you have headphones on, you'll have it in like stereo one or two, or like there's so many things that are put in for the listener experience that I feel like we often don't get just listening to it from our phones or from our car.
Oh yeah, and I think that if an artist has a very loyal fan base that will pay to buy vinyl, that's a great way of putting money directly into the artist's pocket too.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I love vinyl covers. I just think the photography and the choices that people make are such like art forms in themselves. So I just love to go to like a record store and kind of look at the different covers.
Absolutely. Wow, this time has really flown by.
I know.
Mel, what do you have coming up?
Okay, I'm so excited to announce this one. There's one, it's at Flappers in Burbank, and it's April 2nd. And one of my really good friends, Dawn Brody, who's here, has a popular podcast called HILF, and it's History I'd Like to FUCK. And so she's a historian. She's currently getting her master's in history. She's been on the History Channel. She's like a true legit like historian and a comedian. And so her podcast is all about like funny history and like hot people in history, but it goes a lot deeper than that. And so I'm on her. She does live shows of the HILF podcast, and it's called like HILF Public School, where we go and learn about a different subject. I was on an episode talking about the president James K. Polk and like whether we like him or not. So I'm on her live show April 2nd. So I'll do like a 5-minute set about history. So I think it'll be really fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and if anyone loves history that's listening, her podcast HILF, HILF, is very interesting, and Dawn is like a wealth of information, and she's just a cool chick, and she's my friend. So, yeah, that's April 2nd.
Very nice. And if you don't have anything to do, make sure you check her out. She would love for you to come.
So much. Yeah, and Dawn's wild. She's like, if he wants someone to drink a whiskey with and talk about all the presidents, that's her girl.
Well, everyone, we had a great time. We really appreciate you supporting us. We appreciate you watching us and listening to us, and also your comments on social media, which I do read. Make sure you support Meryl, continue to support us, and let people know who we are. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
I'm Meryl Klimo.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on elrodthenetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on elrodthenetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to elrodthenetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.